Welcome to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Friday, July 16th, 2021, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing well today. It's been a very, very busy day. I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered today for 2 hours, and we talked about the African-American female voting rights activists who were arrested on Thursday, July 15th. You know, we talked about this story on yesterday's show. Congressional Black Caucus Chair Joyce Beatty was arrested at the Hart Senate building. And Melanie Campbell of National Black Civic Participation and other African-American women, female activists were arrested yesterday. So we talked about this on yesterday's show. Today, they met with Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House. So we're going to talk some about that. And then toward the at the end of today's show on Roland Martin Unfiltered, we got the news that hip hop legend and pioneer Biz Markie passed away at age 57. Okay, Biz Markie passed away at age 57. He had been in hospice for some time now, and he had type 2 diabetes as well. There was a story from TMZ. I posted the article from TMZ dealing with his passing. So we'll talk some about Biz Markie. He came out in 1989 with the song Just a Friend. Hip hop celebrities hip hop artists and celebrities are sending out their condolences. I was sharing on my Facebook page, the African History Network. I was sharing posts from DJ Spenderella from Salt and Pepper. And on Instagram, I was looking at posts from Big Daddy Kane, and others are sending their condolences out to Biz Markie's family. Passed away at age 57, the clown prince of hip hop. We first, so Roland talked about this on his show today. He confirmed it with Biz Markie's wife. TMZ has this story also. Black America Web. I shared the article from blackamericaweb.com as well, dealing with the passing of Biz Markie. So we'll talk some about that. And then also, civil rights pioneer Gloria Richardson passed away today as well at age 99. Civil rights activist Gloria Richardson, and there's a famous picture of her pushing away it was the National Guardsman with a rifle and the bayonet, and she pushes it away. It's a famous picture of her doing that from July 1963. So Gloria Richardson, civil rights activist, passed away today also at age 99. So we'll talk a little bit about Gloria Richardson as well. We'll talk about the meeting that African-American female voting rights activists had with Vice President Kamala Harris today at the White House. On our Sunday show, I'm going to share the excerpt of, we'll share a segment of Roland Martin Unfiltered from today. We'll share that on our Sunday show because Roland spoke with one of the women who was in the meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris today, Melanie Campbell of National Black Civic Participation. And also we commented, he also went to his panel. I was on Roland's panel today. So he went to the panel for our feedback as well. So we'll share that on Sunday's show. And all this is taking place on July 16th. And July 16th is also Ida B. Wells' birthday. So happy birthday to Ida B. Wells Barnett. She was a journalist. She was a teacher, civil rights activist, anti-lynching pioneer as well, fighting for a federal anti-lynching bill. And she got involved in the anti-lynching movement in 1892. So there's a piece from history.com that deals with Ida B. Wells and how she got involved in the anti-lynching movement. Okay. Ida B. Wells and how she got involved in the anti-lynching movement. And we'll talk about that on today's show also. All right. Now, so we'll talk about Ida B. Wells as well. Now, on the African History Network show, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's corrects wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you've been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So when you control the radius of a man or woman's thoughts, you can control the circumference of his or her actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. Now, we deal with a number of different topics here on the African History Network show. We deal with current events in history and politics, education, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, relationships, love, sex, health issues, and much, much more. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, Kemet, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, Kemet, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Also visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Sign up for our email newsletter. The online course that I teach on Sundays, Sunday 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. That class meets this Sunday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can register for that 10-week online course there. Okay, we deal with thousands of years of history, and we deal with ancient Africa and deal with what led up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place, and we go throughout the transatlantic slave trade as well. Okay. We also deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors, who take the teachings from ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt into Europe. And this is going to bring Europe out of the Dark Ages. And we're going to see what leads to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. So if you go to our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, scroll down the page, you'll see the information for the, we're here 6 days a week. You'll see the information for the online course. Click on register here. Takes you to our next page on Learn World, our online school. Click on enroll, and as soon as you register, you can start watching the course content. So we do the classes live. All the sessions are recorded. So as soon as you register, you can watch last Sunday's class, and you'll be ready for this Sunday's class, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. We'll post a link here also so you can register for the course. Okay, I'm going to go to this first story here. Now, thegrio.com has a good article written by April Ryan. So we talked about this story yesterday, and we looked at the story from political.com. If you missed Thursday's show, all these shows are archived at our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, and our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, Imhotep. And they're in audio podcast format. Also, download the iHeartRadio app, search for the African History Network show. But Politico had an article, Black Caucus Chair Arrested During Protests in Capitol Complex. And they were nonviolent. They weren't like the domestic terrorists on January 6th. Okay. And most of them did not get arrested, even though many of them were beating up police officers and committing felonies and things like that and yelling, "Hang Mike Pence." Now, Congressional Black Caucus Chair Representative Joyce Beatty, Democrat from Ohio, was among 9 protesters arrested Thursday afternoon, July 15th, who were calling on the U.S. Senate to pass voting rights legislation, chanting "In the filibuster" and "Let the people vote." The group marched into the Hart Senate office building, and what Representative Joyce Beatty said was an effort to send senators a message. Now, the Capitol group of around 20 people spent about 20 minutes in the building. Building before Capitol Police delivered several warnings and restrained the protesters with zip ties. The police detained Representative Joyce Beatty, then led her and other protesters outside to waiting Capitol vans. The remaining protesters walked out of the Senate Hart office building without being arrested. Now, these activists today met with Vice President Kamala Harris, and they were discussing getting the For the People Act passed, as well as getting the John Lewis Voting Rights Act passed as well. So there's a good article on this. Now, I have not seen a lot of articles written about this meeting that took place. I know they talked about it some on MSNBC. We talked about it on Roland Martin Unfiltered today. Hopefully there'll be more articles written about this meeting because this is important. April Ryan has a piece for thegrio.com, African-American owned and operated media outlet, thegrio.com. Vice President Harris holds Black women voting rights activists after arrest. This is an exclusive article to thegrio.com. America's first Black and woman vice president compared the civil rights leaders to historic figures like Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells, and others. And once again, we know today, July 16th, is Ida B. Wells' birthday. So from the big lie to the big fight, civil rights leaders are sounding the alarm this summer for as long as it takes for voting rights legislation to move in the U.S. Senate. The White House remains very concerned about voting rights as the West Wing becomes a revolving door for meetings with advocates in the fight. Friday afternoon, President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and staffers listened to what was happening on the ground from African-American women voting rights activists who represented their respective groups in overflow numbers, at the wooden conference table of the Roosevelt Room. Now, President Joe Biden dipped into the meeting, which was hosted by Vice President Kamala Harris and included a guest list of some of the most notable African-American women's groups in the voting rights arena. Here's a picture of them here. We see Melanie Campbell. She was on Roland Martin Unfiltered today. Melanie Campbell in the purple. We'll continue this on the other side of the break as well. Now, also, if you like this information, you can support the African History Network, $ the AHN show through Cash App, $ the AHN show through Cash App, then also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN show, paypal.me/the AHN show, or at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Okay, this helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, keep broadcasting. We're here 6 days a week. And be sure to join us Sunday. Sunday, we're here 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Sunday, I'm going to share with you the excerpt of my conversation with Dr. Cornel West. He was a guest today on Roland Martin Unfiltered, and I got to ask him a question about Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen and the conflict, the criticism of Dr. West and from Dr. West and Dr. Henry Louis Get the Truth Gates about the Afrocentric scholars in the early 1990s. Okay, so we'll talk about that on Sunday show. All right, you listen to the African History Network show right here on 910 a.m. Superstation Future Radio. I'm Michael Imhotep. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Joel Wilson, President and CEO of JCW Computer Consulting, LLC, a technology implementation firm with over 20 years of satisfying customers. We offer a full spectrum of industry top-tier branded services. We are an authorized partner or reseller for Lenovo, Zoom, T-Mobile, Microsoft 365 and Surface tablets, Google Workspace, Acer, Asus, Samsung, PCmatic security software, and many more. Our online store features laptops, Chromebooks, computers, printers, accessories, and software. Businesses, take advantage of our free 1-hour Zoom tech consultation and know we offer top nationwide high-speed internet service providers, voice over IP, and cellular phone services. Home users, don't miss our current in-stock Chromebook inventory. Please visit us at jcwcc.com or call 215-879-6701.
Black on Purpose Television Network. Yes, Black on Purpose Television Network. All black, all positive, all the time. The largest black-owned streaming television network in the world. Bringing our people together worldwide. Controlling our messages, our stories, our way. Black TV the way it should be. Black music, Black history, and more. 30+ channels, thousands of shows. Black on Purpose Television Network. Subscribe now.
We all know the cannabis industry is headed toward an uprise in the past decade. What happens when there is a brand that brings this uprise in a blow? The cannabis industry welcomes her uprise. Hustle her hemp. Delivering excellence with pride is her watchword, and how you choose to embrace it makes it a priority. From cultivating rich cannabis into exquisite and tastefully finished CBD products to delivery, Hustle Her Hemp leaves no stone unturned. Hustle Her Hemp's mission is to empower women of color by building business and creating legacies, uniting beauty, health, and business. We are a pure definition of how we want the CBD industry to become in the future. While we are redefining innovation, we bring the same energy to improving the quality of life. Hustle Her Hemp is the new uprise.
The Superstation, Detroit's only African-American talk radio.
Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 a.m. Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Friday, July 16th, 2021, and we are live. Calling number is 313-778-7600 is the calling number. If you have a question or comment, 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. All right. Right before the break, we were talking about the meeting that Vice President Kamala Harris had today with African American voting rights activists, African American female voting rights activists. So we'll go to that here in just a minute. I want to, I sent you this clip here. So while we get that queued up, we'll talk a little bit here about Biz Markie. So there's a article here from TMZ. They were one of the first ones to break the news. Roland Martin broke the news also on Roland Martin Unfiltered today. So we'll share some of those comments on our Sunday show. Okay, because he went to his panel and I was on the panel. We talked to him about Biz Markie. But if we look at this piece here from TMZ, Biz Markie dead at 57. And we know we lost a number of hip hop artists over the past few months. Everybody from DX to Black Rob. We know Shabba-Doo from the Breaking movie. There's been a number of people who we've lost. Now, rapper Biz Markie, most famous for his iconic hit Just a Friend, has died after a series of complications from diabetes that he's been fighting for more than a year. TMZ has confirmed. A family source tells us Biz Markie passed away in a Baltimore hospital at 6:25 p.m. Friday night. We're told his wife, Tara Hall, held his hand as he took his last breath. Okay, held his hand as he took his last breath. Now, we know that a few weeks ago, we know there was an article from Revolt TV, and there was a rumor that Biz Markie had passed away. He had not passed away. He was in hospice care, but he was still alive. Okay. But he has been confirmed by his wife. And yes, he has passed away. Okay. So let's see. Let's get that up. Okay. Now, a family source tells us that Biz Markie passed away in a Baltimore hospital. In a Baltimore hospital at 6:25 p.m. Friday night. We're told his wife, Tara Hall, held his hand as he took his last breath, and the nursing staff was there to support his family, telling them how strong he was through the fight. Now, a representative for Biz Markie tells us, quote, "We are grateful for the many calls and prayers of support that we have received during this difficult time. Biz Markie created a legacy of artistry that will forever be celebrated by his industry peers and his beloved fans whose lives he was able to touch through music spanning over 35 years. He leaves behind a wife, many family members, and close friends who will miss his vibrant personality, constant jokes, and frequent banter." Now, TMZ broke the story that Biz Markie was hospitalized last summer for an ailment his rep told us was related to his type 2 diabetes. At the time, the rep said, quote, "He is receiving the best care from an amazing team of medical professionals, and we remain positive about the outcome," end quote. However, his condition remains somewhat of a mystery until April 2021, when Big Daddy Kane made an appearance on The Breakfast Club, telling the show's hosts that Biz Markie was doing better and in a physical rehab facility. Throughout his hospital stay, rumors swirled that Biz was in a coma, but TMZ source says that was never the case. So in an outpouring of support from the hip hop world, and people are sharing pictures of. I was on Instagram looking at people sharing pictures of them with themselves with Biz Markie, whether they're in the industry or everyday people. I'm looking at a post I shared from DJ Spenderella. A Salt and Pepper fame, but Salt and Pepper fired her, but I still like Spenderella anyway. They did her wrong. If we look at this post here from DJ Spenderella, then we're going to go to the clip, Ed. We'll go to the clip here from Roland Martin Unfiltered. Then we'll go to the phone lines. Let's look at this here from DJ Spenderella. She said, "This one really hurts." Okay, so she shows her with Biz Markie. And we'll get some other responses on social media from some celebrities as well. There was some posts. Let me see. There was a post that Roland Martin shared. We shared that on our Facebook fan page, the African History Network, as well. Let me flip over to that. Okay, so we continue to lose hip hop royalty. And a lot of these artists who are passing away are under 60 years old. Black Rob was like 50, 51. I think same thing with DMX, right around that age as well. If we look at, let me see here. Okay, so we got this post here from DJ Spinderella, and there was one. Okay, BlackAmericaWeb.com has a good article on Biz Markie. This post right here from Roland Martin. Breaking news: Biz Markie has died, and let's see here. His wife has confirmed it, so people are, giving their condolences and sharing their memories of Biz Markie. Okay, I want to go to this clip here. So this is Roland spoke with Melanie Campbell of the National Black Civic Participation today about the meeting that the group had with Vice President Kamala Harris. Let's go to this clip.
We'll see. Joining us right now is the leader of the National Coalition on the Black Civic Participation, also the convener of the Black Women's Roundtable, Melanie Campbell. Melanie, glad to have you back.
Thank you. You were one of the folks who was arrested on yesterday. First and foremost, you had the meeting with the White House today. How did that meeting go with Vice President Kamala Harris?
I think it was a really engaging conversation, Roland. She was more listening, but we also met with some of the other staff, Cedric and others from both the President's senior team and Vice President's team. I think was really important because it is truly the one president at a time and there was Vice President at a time. So it was good to have both in the meeting, and President Biden did stop through. Thank you for coming. I just wanted to say thank you for what Black women have done and come to a lot of these elections. But the meeting definitely was with Vice President Harris. A little worn down, Roland, so I apologize if I'm a little loose tonight. But yes, it was engaging. We spent a lot of time really talking because we had some sisters who were in our delegation who have worked in that White House. Dominion Moor and Ina Dashi were two, and just really making those suggestions and recommendations around using not just the pulpit, but using, let's say, all aspects of what they can do, the whole of government approach, if you will, like they've done for COVID, with done with ACA, with healthcare, with Obama administration, as examples of utilizing all means from the White House standpoint and the administration standpoint to think of ways that they can get out into the community and really carry this all the way through and engaging the American public. And as Black women, and thank you for all you do is put the story out there and for being there with us all day in that heat, as well as when we get our direct action. An intergenerational, multi-movement of sisters and brothers who came there to make out.
I played this soundbite from Latasha Brown where she said, look, this is not the end. What took place yesterday is the beginning, that there's going to be more of this. There's going to be more action. And, when President Biden was in Tulsa, he said he called on external forces to do more. But the reality is folks like you and Latasha and Nika Mallory and others, they've done more. This is where the president must use the persuasive powers of that office to lean on these Democrats to do what's right because what we are looking at are efforts by Republicans to literally steal elections all across the South.
Yes, and we won't have a democracy. We'll have one party. We end up having a situation of not having federal voting rights reform and done because of the redistricting that's about to take place. You know, we had folks from your home state of Texas who were there from the Texas delegation, the Texas Legislative Black Caucus, stopped by our Speak Out that was at United Methodist building yesterday, and so we know that we are in this country is in a state of crisis, but we're not functioning that way with what is actually it's not there yet. We have to engage the movement on this so that. As I said at the beginning, yes, we're doing it because what's happening with black people, but it's really the whole country is in trouble, and folks need to know they have to raise their voices and challenge these senators to just lead. That's all we ask you to lead. It's not leading to hide behind a filibuster. You know, that's a process. That's part of the legislative process. That when time say it's time to change it, so you can get some work done. Nobody. I don't believe the people of West Virginia sent Manchin there to just hide behind that. But I don't live in West Virginia, so the people of West Virginia are going to have to really challenge this and speak up. They sent him to Washington D.C.
No, one of the things that as we look at that video that being from yesterday's action. And it is important for people to understand, why this matters. There's somebody who's watching right now, and they're saying, "All right, you got these black folks," and this is the point I think right here where the cops were telling us we had to get back. People are saying, "All right, I see these actions," but to remind people, those checks that went out yesterday. For child tax credits, those checks don't go out if Democrats don't control the Congress.
Exactly.
Those checks don't go. The PPP, additional PPP dollars, all those things don't happen unless you have like-minded people who are in office passing the legislation, and so. For the people who out here who say, man, this vote doesn't matter, you can't get public policy changes unless you change the politicians. Poly is the root word of both of those, politicians and politics.
It's the bottom line, brother. I mean, we took. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Something was popping up on my Skype. But look, folks were elected last year, and we risked our lives, a lot of us, to be out there, and many, many others, to be out there, helping to mobilize, and the people who showed up to vote. And so it's just, the reality is that if redistricting goes down the way, there's going to be a lot of folks in the House that won't be back. And I foresee this. If the House goes down, it's surely a responsibility to say it. But it's nonpartisan. I'm just saying, when it comes to the shift of power last year, it's easily shift right back next year. And that was, in my personal thing, I think that was correct because people voted for change. They voted for justice. They voted for, I would not tell you, we knew there would always be backlash when there's forward progress for black folks. There's always a pushback. But I would not tell you that I saw that crystal ball that said that it would be this.
Did we lose Belly? I think her Skype froze. All right, then.
Okay. Pause it right there. Pause it right there, Ed. Go to clip 2. I sent you clip 2. Let's go to clip 2. So, Melanie Campbell's talking about the meeting that they had with Vice President Kamala Harris, today at the White House. And she was, Melanie was one of the ones arrested yesterday at the, Capitol building, at the, Hart Senate, office building. If we look some more at this article here from thegrio.com while we get clip number 2 queued up. So the White House is said to be, now this is an excellent article written by April Ryan for thegrio.com. The White House is said to be serious about voting rights and trying to build momentum by continuing its efforts to bring national attention to controversial voting bills passed by Republicans in over a dozen states. And is actually, I think it's 18 states now. Now, we know Vice President Kamala Harris was here in Detroit this past Monday as part of a listening tour, talking to activists and things like this, dealing with voting rights. If we look at this here, okay, so 18 states, 61 restrictive voting bills moving through 18 states right now. And let me see. How many have passed? 28 restrictive new voting laws have already been passed this year. 28 restrictive new voting laws already passed this year. We know there's been a total of about 389 bills that are being pushed by Republicans in 48 states. We see 61 restrictive voting bills moving through 18 states right now. Okay, thanks for calling. All right, I need to go to clip 2 here. So after Roland interviewed Melanie Campbell, then he went to his panel. Now, on Wednesday's show, we talked about how you had corporations, 150 plus corporations, who have signed a letter in support of the John Lewis voting rights bill. Okay. Now, they did not, however, say that they were going to stop funding Republican candidates if they pass these voter restriction bills. Okay. See, they didn't say that. So the letter from these corporations is very weak, even though it's a little movement, because they have been very silent the past couple of months, but it's still very weak. Okay, let's go to clip 2.
Your president saying what day are alphas going to join the 8 alphas in Congress to do the same thing yesterday? Sigmas. Congressman John Lewis was a Sigma. I want to know when is Phi Beta Sigma going to call their members to have a civil disobedience in the Senate Hart building, like you saw yesterday with Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, a Delta, and the Deltas who were there yesterday. I want to know when the Omegas are going to do that, when the Iotas are going to do that. I want to know when the Masons are going to do that. I want to know when the black men going to show up.
Well, good question, Roland. And, I talked about this with the protests on my show last night. And also, there were African-American men there. Okay, now I don't know how many got arrested. I think 10. No.
Let me be clear. There were black men who were there.
Right.
We walked along with them. I can roll a video. Right. But follow me here.
Right. I agree with you.
I don't want to. This is what I'm saying. I don't want to see a sister at the next one. Okay. I want to see 100. What I'm saying is, I want to see 100 brothers. I want the Kappas,
right,
to say to the Kappas who are in Congress, right, we gonna stand with you, and we gonna have 100, 200, 300 there. I want the Masons to be there. Saying the same thing. I want the Alpha saying we gonna pick this Thursday. I'm saying what I'm saying is,
right,
I don't just want to hear brothers make statements or send out press releases. I want to see them on the front line.
Oh no, I agree with that. I agree with that, and the show of force from those organizations as well.
In their colors.
In their colors, absolutely. I agree with that. It's a few things. I talked about this on my show last night. The first question I asked is, why were these sisters arrested and domestic terrorists on January 6th when arrested? who attacked the U.S. Capitol building. That's the first question I asked, number one. Secondly, when you talk to Melanie Campbell about where the white people, one of the critical things here, and we talked about this last Friday, Roland, is we have got to expand this beyond just, in general, a black thing. Because, see, when we talk about the 1965 Voting Rights Act, that automatically gets associated with African Americans. But what is at stake for white college students? What is at stake for elderly white people who vote through mail-in ballots? What is at stake for Latinos and Asian Americans? Largely in this conversation is not talked about. So we have to expand that conversation beyond that and have that outreach to those different groups that are also affected. Because the Voting Rights Act is associated with Dr. King, John Lewis, things like this. Secondly, you talked about this here. I talked about it on my show. Wednesday, 150 plus corporations signed onto a letter supporting the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. But what they didn't say is any Republicans that vote for these voter restriction bills, we're not going to give you any more funding.
That's what I'm saying. Your letter don't mean a damn thing if you keep sending a check.
Exactly. So now look at this. Compare the stance from corporations that they took Wednesday in that letter, and that's a little start, but we got to go harder. Compare that to the stance they took with the Indiana transgender bathroom bill in 2015, when corporations were talking about canceling conferences in the state of Indiana. NCAA came out, all these corporations came out, they were talking about withdrawing economic support. Not only did they do this, if you go study what happened, Mike Pence was the governor of Indiana. Corporations put so much economic pressure on Indiana, the state legislature within a week changed the law. That's how much economic pressure they put on us. So how is it you come out hard for LGBTQ, but you silent for BLACK? And the same thing with North Carolina. When North Carolina had their transgender bathroom bill, you saw corporations take a much harder stance. So the second thing that has to happen is we have to collectively put our foot up the ass of these corporations that are taking these little baby steps. When we see a history of them taking a much more stronger stance when it comes to transgender people choosing which bathroom they want to use. And lastly, to piggyback on or piggyback on Faraji's point, the reason why many of our people don't fight back is because many of our people don't think that we're fighting for. So we got to deal with the self-esteem issue and how we see ourselves as well.
All right, pause it right there. We'll pick up this conversation on our Sunday show. I'm going to share with you the excerpt from LaTosha Brown outside the Senate building where they were arrested, as well as I'll share with you the comments from yesterday outside the Senate building, the Hart Senate building, from Cora Masters Berry. Cora Masters Berry is the former wife of D.C. Mayor Marion Barry. And she talked about how she's 76 years old. And she said, I was out there fighting for the 1965 Voting Rights Act. She said, I am mad because I'm 76 years old and I was out there fighting for the 1965 Voting Rights Act. She said, we got it. And here I am. I just don't understand why we are here, because they now this is what I've talked about in understanding political self-defense. We don't understand the concept of protecting gains that were made. We don't understand the concept of protecting gains that were made. It's not just getting bills passed. It's understanding how to protect what you got passed. And because politics is a continuous process, politics is the legal distribution of scarce wealth, power, and resources, and the writing of laws, statutes, ordinances, amendments, and treaties, their adoption, interpretation, and enforcement. Politics is a continuous process. There are always people who are trying to take away what you have because they perceive your gain as their loss. So it's not always about what someone can do for you. It's also about understanding how to block and stop what people are trying to do to you. We must understand political self-defense and understand how to protect gains that were made, how to, one, assess the gains were made, two, how to protect gains that were made. This is something that most people don't understand. All right, so we'll talk about that some more on Sunday's show. Now, we were talking about Biz Markie, and we'll talk a little bit more here about Biz Markie. Passed away at age 57. Hip hop legend, DJ, actor, the clown prince of hip hop, Biz Markie. I want to go back to this piece here from TMZ. Let's go back to this here. Okay. So, Biz Markie, the Washington Post has a good article about Biz Markie, Black America Web, as well. We'll talk some more on our Sunday show. We're here for 2 hours on Sunday. And I don't think I'm really going to go into overtime. I did 2 hours on Rolling Show. Today, I'm here for this show. I've got to teach 2 classes this weekend, one Saturday and one Sunday, online classes. So I have a lot of work to do. Now, born in Harlem, Biz Markie made a name for him nationally and internationally in 1989 when his single Just a Friend became a top 40 hit in multiple countries and went platinum. Okay, I was watching some of that video today. The rapper's career took off after that. He acted, did comedy, DJ'd, and produced music. The last time we got Biz was at a Reagan National Airport in D.C., where he joked about the unique way he paid off a debt to 50 Cent, to hip hop artist 50 Cent and 50 Cent. Okay, so Biz Markie passed away age 57. Now, also, Gloria Richardson, as well, civil rights activist Gloria Richardson passed away today as well. There's a piece from the Associated Press here that talks about Gloria Richardson. Many people have seen this iconic photo of Gloria Richardson. This is from July 1963. Gloria Richardson, an influential yet largely unsung civil rights pioneer, whose determination not to back down while protesting racial inequality was captured in a photograph as she pushed away the bayonet of a National Guardsman. She has passed away at age 99. Okay. And this photo is from July 21st, 1963. Gloria Richardson, head of the Cambridge Nonviolent Action Committee, pushes a National Guardsman's bayonet aside as she moves among a crowd of African Americans to convince them to disperse in Cambridge, Maryland. Gloria Richardson, an influential yet largely unsung civil rights pioneer, whose determination not to back down while protesting racial inequality was captured in a photograph. Okay. Now, Taya Young, her granddaughter, said Gloria Richardson died in her sleep Thursday in New York City and had not been ill. Taya Young said while her grandmother was at the forefront of the civil rights movement, she did not seek praise or recognition. Okay. She said she did it because it needed to be done, and she was a born leader. All right. Okay. We're out of time here on 910 AM Superstation WFDF. If you'd like this type of information, you can support the African History Network, $ the AHN show through Cash App, $ the AHN show through Cash App, also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN show. Those watching on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to keep going for a couple more minutes. We'll talk a little bit about Ida B. Wells. Right now, it's corrects wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you Sunday. Peace. Stand by, everybody. Let me disconnect this call. Stand by. All right. Okay. So you can support us through Cash App, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, or through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN Show. This helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, keep broadcasting 6 nights a week, pay some of the bills, etc. Be sure to register for the 10-week online course that I teach, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, where they didn't teach you in school. This class meets 10 consecutive Sundays. Class just started up Sunday, July 4th. Okay, we meet again this Sunday. 2 p.m. The class meets 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So I do a PowerPoint presentation. We have book references, articles, video clips, guest speakers, everything. We do the class live. All the sessions are recorded. We deal with thousands of years of history and what led up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. So right on the homepage of our website, scroll down, click on register here, then click on enroll. You'll see the information. You'll see it there. As soon as you register, you can start watching the content. Okay. And you can join us live in class. If you miss any of the class, you can go back and watch it over and over again. It's archived. Even after the 10-week course is over with, you still have access to the archived content. You can go back and watch the classes. All right. So we deal with ancient Africa, ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, Nubia, Ethiopia, the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors. We deal with what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We deal with the African presence in the Americas going back tens of thousands of years. And I reference Dr. David Imhotep's book, The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence. The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence. He actually spoke to our class on June 12th. Okay, so when you register, you'll also get the content from the class, the Saturday class that I'm teaching. And that Saturday class, we have classes 1 through 10 archived, so you can watch that as well. Okay, you can watch that content also. Okay, now I have a new class that I'm putting together in the next day or so. We'll upload it so you can register for this new class. This new class is going to meet on Saturdays afternoon, probably about 3 p.m. It's going to be a 10-week course. It's going to look at history from 1865 through 1965, up until about 1970. So we'll look at about a 100-year period of time, from the end of slavery through Reconstruction, 1865, 1877, Jim Crow era, Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896, Grandfather Clause, 1898, Mississippi State Constitution, 1890, Williams versus Mississippi, U.S. Supreme Court case, 1898, which challenges the poll taxes and literacy tests of the Mississippi State Constitution. U.S. Supreme Court rules that it does not violate the Constitution. Those poll taxes and literacy tests, other states are going to adopt similar laws in their state constitutions. We'll go through World War I, World War II. We'll go through the Great Migration, 1915 to 1970. We'll go through the Civil Rights Movement, Emmett Till, Montgomery bus boycott, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, Nation of Islam, Malcolm X, Dr. King, Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, Kwame Ture. We'll go through history, and each class will look at approximately a 10-year period of time. So we can see how we got here and see these historical events that took place that got us to where we are today, and understand the laws and policies that were put in place, and understand these historical events, these movements, etc. Okay. So that's going to, we'll have that ready. You can register for that in a couple of days. That's going to be a 10-week online course. If you're interested in that course, email me at AHNshow@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AHNshow@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. So as soon as I have that uploaded so you can register for it, I'll email you. That class will be $80. And all the content will be archived also. We'll do it live. It'll be archived as well. Okay, very quickly here. Today is Ida B. Wells' birthday also. Okay. Ida B. Wells Barnett. And there was a article here from blackpast.org about Ida B. Wells. There's also one from history.com, which deals with how she got involved in the anti-lynching movement. We'll probably talk some about that on Sunday. But if we look at this here quickly, Ida B. Wells Barnett. So activist and writer Ida B. Wells Barnett first became prominent in the 1890s before she brought international attention to the lynching of African Americans in the South. Wells was born a slave in Holly Springs, Mississippi in 1862. So this is during the Civil War. At the age of 16, she became primary caregiver to her 6 brothers and sisters when both of her parents succumbed to yellow fever. After completing her studies at Rust College, where her father had sat on the board of trustees before his death, Ida B. Wells divided her time between caring for her siblings and teaching school. She moved to Memphis, Tennessee in the 1880s. Now, Ida B. Wells first began protesting the treatment of African-American Southerners on a train ride between Memphis, Tennessee, and her job at a rural school. The conductor told her she must move to the train's smoking car. Ida B. Wells refused, arguing that she had purchased a first-class ticket. The conductor and other passengers then physically removed her from the train. So this is like Rosa Parks before Rosa Parks. This was Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells returned to Memphis. She hired a lawyer and sued the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad Company. Okay, the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad Company. Now, the court decided in her favor, awarding Ida B. Wells $500. The railroad company appealed, and in 1887, the Supreme Court of Tennessee, 1887, the Supreme Court of Tennessee reversed the previous decision and ordered Ida B. Wells to pay court fees. Now, using the pseudonym Iola, I-O-L-A, Ida B. Wells began to write editorials in black newspapers that challenged the Jim Crow laws in the South. She bought a share of a Memphis newspaper, the Free Speech and Headlight newspaper there in Memphis, Tennessee, and used it to further the cause of African-American civil rights. Now, after the lynching of 3 of her friends in 1892, that's known as the Mosque Store murders in Memphis, Tennessee, 1892, Ida B. Wells became one of the nation's most vocal anti-lynching activists. Kevin McDowell, Thomas Moss, and Henry Stewart owned the People's Grocery Store in Memphis, Tennessee. But their economic success angered the white owners of a store across the street. On March 9th, 1892, a group of white men gathered to confront McDowell, Moss, and Stewart. During the ensuing scuffle, several of the white men received injuries, and authorities arrested the 3 African-American business owners. A white mob subsequently broke into the jail, captured Calvin McDowell, Thomas Moss, and Henry Stewart, and lynched them. Now, incensed by the murders of her friends, Ida B. Wells launched an extensive investigation of the lynching. In 1892, she published a pamphlet called Southern Horrors, Horrors, which detailed her findings. Through her lectures and books, such as A Red Record in 1895, Ida B. Wells countered the quote unquote rape myth used by lynch mobs to justify the murder of African Americans. Through her research, she found that lynching victims had challenged white authority or had successfully competed with whites in business or politics. They had challenged white authority. She found many lynching victims had challenged white authority or had successfully competed with white men, basically in business or politics. As a result of her outspokenness, a mob destroyed the offices of the Free Speech newspaper and threatened to kill Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells fled Memphis, Tennessee, determined to continue her campaign to raise awareness of Southern lynchings. Ida B. Wells took her movement to England and established the British Anti-Lynching Society in 1894. She returned to the U.S. and settled in Chicago, Illinois, where she married attorney and newspaper editor Ferdinand L. Barnett in 1895. 1895 is also the year that Frederick Douglass died. Now, Ida B. Wells Barnett also worked to advance other political causes. She protested the exclusion of African Americans from the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, and 3 years later, she helped launch the National Association of Colored Women. In 1909, Ida B. Wells Barnett was a founding member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP. She also actively campaigned for women's suffrage. Now, she died in Chicago in 1931 at the age of 69. So happy birthday to Ida B. Wells, that was born July 16th, 1862. All right, look, we have to get out of here. Remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's correct your own behavior. Register for the online course that I teach on Sundays. We have the information at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa. Understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. And as soon as you register, you can start watching the course content. And then we also have a new class that's going to start up on Saturdays dealing with looking at history after slavery ends from 1865 to about 1965 or so. We have that one starting up as well. Email me at AHNshow@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com if you're interested in that class looking at history looking at that 100-year period of time. That's going to be a really good class, okay? Because we're going to be able to, it's going to be 10 weeks, 10 consecutive Saturdays, and we'll be able to zero in on about a 10-year period of time each class, about a 10-year period of time each class. So we'll be really able to delve in to this and understand this history and how this history still impacts us today. All right. Okay. So we got Damon. Thanks for all your effort to improve our minds and soul education. Thank you, my brother. All right. Thanks, Damon. Damon, Robert, Jelana, everybody watching. Follow us on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, and our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. Click on the like button, the thumbs up button on these videos, okay, so they perform better in the algorithms. When you follow us on Facebook and YouTube, be sure to turn on live notifications so you know when we go live. All right, we have to get out of here. Remember, right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you Sunday. Okay, Sundays. So we're Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time, and Sundays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These shows are also in audio podcast format. Download the iHeartRadio app. The iHeartRadio app, search for the African History Network Show. And wherever you get your podcast from, search for the African History Network Show. We're on 10 different audio podcast platforms: Stitcher, Castbox, Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, FM Player, TuneIn. We're a number of different podcast platforms. All right, we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you Sunday. All right, peace.
Black on Purpose Television Network. Yes, Black on Purpose Television Network. All black, all positive, all the time. The largest black-owned streaming television network in the world, bringing our people together worldwide. Controlling our messages, our stories, our way. Black TV the way it should be. Black music, Black history, and more. 30+ channels, thousands of shows. Black on Purpose Television Network. Subscribe now.
For 25 years, the Black History 101 Mobile Museum has carried on the rich legacy of the Black Museum movement in America by showcasing original artifacts of the Black experience at colleges, universities, K-12 schools, corporations, libraries, conferences, and cultural events, making it the most traversed Black History mobile exhibit in American history. Dr. Khalid El-Hakim is the founder of the Black History 101 Mobile Museum, and he is a highly sought-after public speaker on topics of Black history, social studies, education, museum studies, hip-hop, and race relations. Dr. Khalid was named among the change makers for NBC Universal's Erase the Hate campaign and listed as one of the 100 men of distinction for Black enterprise. He recently founded the Michigan Hip Hop Archive on the campus of Western Michigan University. The Black History 101 Mobile Museum is currently scheduling in-person and virtual exhibits nationwide. For more information, please contact Dr. Khalid El-Hakim directly at 313-645-4197, 313-645-4197, or visit their website at blackhistorymobilemuseum.com. That's blackhistorymobilemuseum.com. You can also email him at bhistory101@yahoo.com, bhistory101@yahoo.com.
Hi, I'm Joel Wilson, President and CEO of JCW Computer Consulting LLC, a technology implementation firm with over 20 years of satisfying customers. We offer a full spectrum of industry top-tier branded services. We are an authorized partner or reseller for Lenovo, Zoom, T-Mobile, Microsoft 365 and Surface tablets, Google Workspace, Acer, Asus, Samsung, PCmatic security software, and many more. Our online store features laptops, Chromebooks, computers, printers, accessories, and software. Businesses, take advantage of our free 1-hour Zoom tech consultation and know we offer top nationwide high-speed internet service providers, voice over IP, and cellular phone services. Home users, don't miss our current in-stock Chromebook inventory. Please visit us at jcwcc.com or call 215-879-6701.
We all know the cannabis industry is headed toward an uprise in the past decade. What happens when there is a brand that brings this uprise in a blow? The cannabis industry welcomes her uprise. Hustle her hemp. Delivering excellence with pride is her watchword, and how you choose to embrace it makes it a priority. From cultivating rich cannabis into exquisite and tastefully finished CBD products to delivery, Hustle Her Hemp leaves no stone unturned. Hustle Her Hemp's mission is to empower women of color by building business and creating legacies, uniting beauty, health, and business. We are a pure definition of how we want the CBD industry to become in the future. While we are redefining innovation, we bring the same energy to improving the quality of life. Hustle Her Hemp is the new uprise.